Gatling is beautiful. Gatling is wonderful. Gatling is my darling. I swear.
Alright, I had to add that little English piece for Kanye because I don't know, because tradition. But this episode had a lot of things I liked and some things I prefer in the 90s version. But let's start, right? The episode starts off with, unfortunately, all of the four members losing their lives. Shikijo taking the hit. I was kind of worried that he would somehow survive, but they all go. They all go this episode, unfortunately, and it was sad in both versions, right? You really feel for Aoshi, right? Shikijo, he gets a upright death. He's still there protecting his protecting Aoshi. Even in that, he refuses to fall down, right? Oddly enough, he states that he gets his body, his muscles, with the help of drugs, um, compounded with his efforts. The 90s version doesn't mention that, right? Also, as we move on, we see that Beshimi and Hyotoko, things were a little bit different in both versions, right? In the 90s version, Beshimi, I was so glad when I saw this part in the 90s version where Beshimi he manages to stop the Gatling gun. He manages to fire the Gatling gun into the slots there, and that allows for Kenshi to come in, but come in for the final hit, right? But in the newer version, Beshimi, he manages to fire, but he gets impaled. Like, Kanyu was able to react fast enough and take him down before the shot even reached him, right? Now, Han Hanya's or Hanya or Hanyu's death was a little bit more tragic in the newer version, because of the little backstory where you see a little bit more of the human side of him. Even though you can't see his face change, I wish he was able to tell that he was happy while he was training. That was heartbreaking as hell, man. Right? I was kind of pissed off that at how the Oniwa band group died. They were just meat shields. In the 90s version, it felt like they wanted them to put more effort than just being meat shields, which I guess I kind of prefer that. We even get to see this badass moment here where Kenshi is in battle side mode in the 90s version. Like, you see him just, he is. I thought he was actually gonna go for the fatal hit, but he doesn't do it. He takes out the gun and hits he hits Kanryu in both versions for a brutal hit, refusing to kill, because that's just Kenshi. He wouldn't kill not even somebody like Kanryu, who deserved to die after what he's done, right? Aoshi, things got a little bit weird with Aoshi in both versions. Did they forget that Aoshi got shot in his legs? How was he able to stand at all? After getting shot in his legs, I'm pretty sure he got shot in his knees, but he was able to stand up in the new version, right? He beheaded his companions and carried what he could, and he fled before there were too many policemen there, right? Now, in the 90s version, he somehow manages to carry the entire body. He got shot in his knees, and someone managed to carry their whole, like, the four corpses with Hiro Toko's giant ass body, he manages to carry all of them. Oh boy, be freaking Goku out here with that Goku strength. That was kind of ridiculous in the 90s version. So they realistically he carries their heads because that's all he can manage to do. Even though I imagine he would want to carry their bodies, right? And this scene here with Megumi, oddly enough, I prefer it in the 90s version only because it was kind of strange seeing Kenshi come inside there and then she decides to end herself, right? It felt a little bit more realistic for her to do it when nobody's there. And then in the nick of time, Sam Sonosuke was able to reach out and stop it. I prefer it in the night that way, how they did it in the 90s version. I was kind of like, what? I was scratching my head at that. I guess at least they managed to keep the injuries consistent in the OG version. In the modern version, they kept Kenshi's injuries there. In the 90s version, he just healed up. Like the injuries you saw the cut, but he never really got injured really by Aoshi's attack. Now here's where things get a little bit strange. In the original version, right? Here we have in the new version here, we get to see our interaction with Megumi, Kenshi, and the police because we know that Megumi she wants to atone for what she's done by killing herself, and the punishment is death for her crimes. But luckily, the policeman, you see that the policeman knows what she was gonna say, and he understands the situation. But luckily, the policeman is familiar with Kenshi and decides to look the other way in this instance and saves Megumi's life. So thanks to you, understanding policeman whose name I forgot. Right now, that's where they was like, where's Aoshi? Then there's like, no, there's no Aoshi here. There's the corpses there, but there were no heads. And yeah, that's where Aoshi he disappeared, and his last appearance at the mansion, he didn't say a single word. All that was said was, well, Kenshi gave him a reason to live. But I felt like he was already resolving what he wanted to do. If he wanted to end his life, he would have. Oddly enough, he had the strength to stand up and move, but he decided not to kill Kanryu. I was sure he was gonna kill Kanryu for what he's done to his teammates or his group. I find it strange he didn't do it. It must have taken real restraint for him not to do that. Right? Instead, he decides to move on, keep the memories of his comrades, and I guess have the goal of fighting Kenshi in the future. The 90s version just had him carry the bodies, oddly enough, and that was it. It's kind of like Aoshi is almost forgotten about at the end of the OG version. Kenshi is like, I'm not sure, so I'm sure if he's still after me. I don't know. But in the newer version, he states that he knows that he gave him a reason to live, and he's gonna come back at him. Now, the OG versions, Kenshi did state to him that you could come back and fight me again if you want, but don't interfere with my loved ones. That's not exactly what he said, but that's essentially it, right? So again, the OG taking a few liberties that makes it kind of strange. That whole ending scene, the second half of the OG version is kind of strange in that regard, right? But at least they hammer it home even more in the OG version that Sanosuke has a thing for Megumi. It's there in both versions, but damn, it's even more obvious in the OG version that he has feelings for Megumi. But again, it was a little bit clouded because he was angry because he lost his friend because of her. In the new version, she almost like kind of taunts Sanosuke to get better, become stronger, prove yourself to me, and maybe I'll be your companion, Mr. Kenshi, with Karu in the background there, just having this sign that says no female foxes. She don't want anything to do with her, right? So I feel like we will be seeing her again, just maybe not as much. Where Aoshi buries the heads of his comrades, and he goes off to somewhere. I'm not really sure what he wants to do. Maybe he go. I assume maybe he's going off to train and come back for Kenshi, and then maybe he probably wants to die. If Kenshi doesn't kill him, I imagine he's probably gonna kill himself because he probably wants to be with his comrades. He might come back to that spot when he wants to just end it all, right? He wants to honor their name and honor the name of the strongest, and maybe he doesn't. Maybe he sees himself as weak for watching his comrades die, so he wants to prove to them that he's the strongest before he eventually just ends it all. I feel maybe that's his motivation, right? And if he can't be the strongest if he can't beat Kenshi, right? Since he views Kenshi as the strongest for now. This was a scriptless review, but thank you for being here. Moving forward, I might be skipping on episodes because I don't know. Do you guys want me to skip episodes until they are like more important battles? I don't know. But if there's anything you guys want me to react to or review in the new coming season of anime, please feel free to tell me, and I'll give it my first impressions. If not, well, we'll see what we do, right? Alright, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you real soon. Goodbye. So long and farewell. Goodbye. It is out.